fucking awful.
Dangerfield, Dangerfield.
All right, there. Welcome to another one of my not Gonzo movie reviews. Now, thank you to everyone who's been suggesting movies to me to put through the not Gonzo film grinder, we could call it. Thank you to everyone, but I've actually decided to ignore everyone else's suggestions because I like to watch films that I want to watch. So, and I've actually forgotten what film it is I'm going to watch today. So I'm just going to check that out, and I'll get back to you in a moment. Won't give me a second. That's right. It's a movie called Whiplash, 2014. I like to keep things topical, up to date. It's I know very little about it. It's about a jazz band, a big band. I love jazz. I love bebop. I love hard bop. I like jazz from about 1954 to about 1964. And at New Year's Eve on both of those dates, New Year's Eve 1954, anything before that, I'm just like, this is shit. And then at midnight, the first record to come out, brilliant. And at 1964, great year for jazz. New Year's Day 1965, shit. So let's hope that I can put that aside. Let's hope I can ignore the main thrust of this film and provide some kind of useful and entertaining review. It's really early in the morning. I've had 3 hours sleep. This will be shit.
I'm sorry.
What's your name?
Andrew Naaman, sir?
You know who I am?
Yes, sir.
So you know I'm looking for players.
Yes, sir.
Just do your best. You're here for a reason. You believe that, right?
I'm here for a reason.
Okay, so our main man is a drummer at the Schaefer Conservatoire of Music. I think it's just conservatory. I added that because I've heard of Le Conservatoire. Yeah, and he's a drummer, and he's just had an encounter with someone who's obviously like the top dog of the big band at this place, and he had a little encounter, and you can tell that this bloke is brutal, savage as a teacher. You get the impression it's because he wants to get the best out of people, but I'm already seeing that. You know, that's going to be the question. That's going to be one of the questions. Is that the way to go? You know, don't forget the person. You know, don't forget we're people. Don't forget I'm a human, and all that. I don't know if this is based on a true story. I mean, 2.5 minutes in, I can tell you it's certainly based on the hero's journey. Yeah. But that can work, you know, there's time for that on a Monday morning when I should be working. So, take it away. Boom, chicka, boom, boom, boom.
Little trouble there. You're rushing. Ready? Okay. 5, 6, and... Were you rushing or were you dragging?
I don't know.
If you deliberately sabotage my band, I will gut you like a pig.
Oh, my dear God. Are you one of those single-tier people?
So I like it. He's just been picked. The heavy kind of, the one they're all scared of, the one they all want to work with. He's picked him. He's picked the drummer. And he picked him over the other drummer, who's the main drummer in the other band that they sort of practice in before they get in the good band. But the man who runs the good band has just gone, tomorrow, room B, 8 o'clock. They're not the exact details, but that's not going to change your enjoyment of the film. Now, of course, the soundtrack to this is big band jazz, like I already said. And Of course, in between scenes, they're playing that as well as playing that in scene, so it's kind of front and centre, which is a bit weird because I don't like it that much. It's all right though. I can appreciate it, and I do admire it, and I understand its historical position in the development of jazz, and without it we wouldn't have got bebop. So nice one, big bands. But the problem is, every time I hear it, I think the next scene is going to be a bloke kicking a door open with a white double-breasted suit on, going, "Wake up, Daddy's here," or similar. But I can get into this. I like playing drums, and I like to think that people who try do well in the world. I like that thought. I like the idea that you can achieve things if you try, and if at first you don't succeed, get busy with the cliche machine. Pump it.
His opinion means a lot to you, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I push people beyond what's expected of them. I believe that is an absolute necessity.
Enter love interest. Ironic, really, that this film is about jazz and drumming, which is largely about timing, because this film is timed. You know, you could probably make this movie on an AI template. You just have to put in the variables, you know, jazz, big band, drums, young white lad. You know, you could just pop in the variables and you'll get your standard well-timed movie. Now, that doesn't make it necessarily a bad thing. Casablanca's much the same. Casablanca, in most of the film studies I've done, screenwriting studies I've done, Casablanca's always used because it's the perfectly paced and timed movie in terms of the hero's journey in the 3-act structure or the 12-act structure, which is ironic because, of course, you can divide those 3 acts into 3 acts of 4. But you can tell I'm happy. I wasn't this happy a few minutes ago, was I? Before I started watching the film, when I realised it was a Monday morning and all the heavy wet blankets of the Mondays we know from childhood remaining, sopping me back to the dankness of the day.
You won't be able to give me the time of day because you have bigger things to pursue.
That's exactly my point.
Now, I have been saying big band quite a lot, and yet the piece of music that the movie's named after, Whiplash, Hank Levy piece from 1979. So although it is a big band, it's not really big. It's not Benny Goodman. It's more like the theme tune to Starsky and Hutch, which is preferable, to be honest with you, because I couldn't sit through an hour of, because it's going to be quite repetitive when it's about how much you have to repeat this stuff to get it right, I suppose. But yeah, so don't think you're going to have to sit through loads of Benny Goodman and the likes. You're going to have to sit through more Starsky and Hutch. That's all right. I do like it. He's a savage tutor, and I think tutors should be savage. Now, it's over the top. He's physically abusing him. Have I got much of a problem with that? Not really. Couple of slaps around the face. What? A young man can't handle that? Of course he can. Needs to. Should be able to. Can't these days because you're not allowed to upset people. But there's a competition. And the fella, the teacher, the tutor has said it's his band. He said to one of the other musicians who cried and he told him to fuck off. And he wasn't even out of tune, he just thought he was, so he said, that's just as bad, go on, fuck off. And he said, I will not have you fuck up my band. And so there's a competition on the horizon. And he's screaming at our new drummer friend, and he's made him cry, and he went into him about his childhood, things he told him in the corridor when it looked like a nice chat. He was going, just relax, what does your dad do? What does your mother do? Yeah, good. Forget about the numbers and all that. Just enjoy yourself, yeah. And of course, when he's actually playing, it's a very different story. When I lectured undergraduates in Freud, but they were art students, and it was Freud and it's the relationship of the divided self, the conscious and the unconscious self, and how that affects artistic practice, how that affects the creative process. If we are a divided self and we're artists and we're trying to make meaning, and we're working with media that creates meaning, painting, video, performance, whatever. Well, if we're intending to say something, if we're intending to have some kind of function, what happens to that intention? If the unconscious is also playing its part in what you do and what you say and what you create. And that first course, so lazy. I failed nearly all of them. I failed them, which jeopardised their degree courses, which are going to put them in debt, and they're going to have to make up those credits later. And I told them I would. I said, look, this is bullshit. You're a lazy bunch of bastards. You're not going to pull the wool over my eyes. If you haven't done the reading, if you haven't done the learning, if you haven't fucking thought about this, you will fail. Because I'm not here to tickle your balls. I'm here to make you a better artist. And if you don't want to be a better artist, you shouldn't be here. Now, I didn't slap any of them around the face. I did have sex with two. But I like rigour, especially in the arts. Artists, in my experience, at 3 art schools, 3 art schools, 5 years of it, and a university, the students are lazy. They think they can get away with not thinking because it's art. And you can make art look like art. You can just look at some books and make something like it. And that's not enough for me, and it's not enough for the world. The world deserves artists who are experts at it. I could probably build a house out of some bricks, but I'm not an architect. An architect has studied for 6, 7... I've got a mate who's done 7, 8 years at the Architect Academy in London. He's virtual aristocracy, so he could afford it. So a little bit, fuck him. Nice bloke, though. Good friend. Hopefully he's going to design my house out here for free. So maybe don't watch that bit, mate. But, artists need to have that expertise. They need to know the history of art. They need to know their speciality. They need to know about how language works. They need to know about the space between the artist and the art object and the person witnessing it. I like rigour in the creative process. I like people to understand what's at stake. Because if artists aren't firing on all cylinders, if artists aren't at the top of their game, our history will be dominated by marketing, will be dominated by advertising. The music, the images, the architecture, the everything of our culture will be dominated by corporations trying to sell people shit they usually don't need. That's what's at stake. So I like rigour. It's a movie, yeah, it's overplayed somewhat, but that's what you watch a movie for. If I want to watch real life, I'll turn the movie off and go to the cafe. So yeah, I'm into it.
You are a worthless, friendless piece of shit whose mommy left daddy, and who is now weeping and slobbering all over my drum set like a 9-year-old girl.
The love interest is so unnecessary. None of the rigour, none of the passion, none of the excitement, none of the stuff that would make you think, oh, that can happen. Oh, that's interesting. No, this is just like again, this you could program this. You could probably just put the variables in to a computer and you know, this is just to break up the action so that the lumpen proletariat can cope with watching a film.
Start practicing harder, Neiman.
Why would you let him get away with what he did to you? Because I want to be great.
Now, why couldn't they have handled the love interest like they're handling the family stuff? The family stuff is good. They're sitting around the dinner table. It's awkward. It's snipey. Your family can press your buttons because your family installed them. There's like 30 years of backstory. You know, every time you meet up with your family, it's the rotten fruit of the tree of your existence, whose roots all go all the way to Hades, where they become maggots and consume themselves. Lovely, wonderful. You know, I'm not against love interests. I'm against pointless, just it's almost like a break. We already covered this. Yeah.
Or are you going to be on my time?
I'm going to be on your time.
Keep playing! Keep playing! Keep playing!
I'm a sucker for this shit. I have to say, I'm a sucker for that rigor. I'm a sucker for that teaching people. I love it. I love it. I like just you know, you don't learn difficult things without work. And I realise how pissed I am with the laziness of creatives. With the you know, I'll tell you what, years ago there was a thing, it was like a proto SUBSTACK. It was called ABC Tales, right? It was like this is going back to what, it must have been 2000, maybe 99. I was down in Totnes, second time round. Police took me down an alley and told me to fuck off back to London or they'll make my life a misery. I said, you're going to have to go some to compete with how it already is. But I did go back to London. But while I was there, I started submitting pieces to this ABC Tales. Now, you could write anything and get it on there. It wasn't like they didn't sort of read everything. It was just a platform. But they had this thing called cherry picks. And if they really liked a story, and if it got loads of good reviews, you'd get a cherry pick. And I think I put about 25 short stories on there, and I got like 23 cherry picks. I was over the moon. You know, I was over the moon. I was a very young man. It was very early in my writing career. And I was like, wow, you know, this is I'd already published and been paid for publishing articles. My first ever bit of writing was in High Times. You know, the Weed magazine. I sent my first ever bit of writing off to them. Hang on, am I getting my date? Yeah. This was in about 97. I sent off an article to them, just on, you know, I thought, fuck it, I'll give it a go. And I got a contract through the post and $50, a check for $50. I was like, I'm such a writer. Anyway, it's very motivating to be getting all these cherry picks. And then I had a mate just say, yeah, I'm writing for ABC Tales. And he was rubbish. And it annoyed me that he just thought it was easy. Because that's what annoyed me. He thought it was easy because I'd done it. But what you don't see is what it takes to be a creative. What you don't see is, you know, when you're there for like 15, 20 hours trying to get something right and you just can't get there. And it's not a science. It's not like where you can just go, oh, hang on, I've just got to do my calculations correctly. I've just got to get my measurements right. No, it's art. It's abstract. It's in the abstract. There's, you know, how do you know if it's right? How do you know if it's wrong? How do you know if it matters? These are the questions that drag you into both the depths of despair, but also lift you to the jouissance of heaven. And so I'm a sucker for this shit. There's just been a scene where he's got these 3 drummers and he's going, no, fuck it, next, no, faster. And then he's kicking all the drums away so they're limiting what they've got to play this rhythm on, and there's blood all over the drums. And yeah, good. Art's hard. Should be. We've had a lot. We've got art. I've done the art school thing. What's the collective noun for art students? A lazy doesn't even get close. A somnambulist of art students. Do some fucking work. So I'm a sucker for this, which is alright. They make films like this for people like me, which is nice occasionally. It's nice occasionally just to like a film that's just a film and it's not, it's entertainment. That's alright. I'm alright with that. I wasn't in my 20s though. You can't entertain. You're not allowed to have entertainment. That goes hand in hand with communism, but that's another video. Okay, let's play them drums. Play that funky music, white boy.
You are a worthless pansy ass who is now weeping and slobbering all over my drum set like a 9-year-old girl.
But you can overdo it. And I think I've just seen a hint. I think there's just been a very little indicator that you can overdo it. You can overdo the way you teach. You can overdo learning and how you learn and what pace you learn. And that's also, if you're going to go in hard, if you're going to go in guns blazing, you've got to be aware that there might be casualties and that they're people. And they're people before they're artists. And I just sat with that for a few moments there after that my rant about making it happen and being excellent and being an expert. Don't destroy your life doing that. Make your life doing that.
Home with a studio band.
Good. Yeah, I think he likes me more now.
I push people beyond what's expected of them. I believe that is an absolute necessity.
When you're watching a movie like that, it's done something good. I like it when I'm watching it, and not a horror movie. Well, a kind of a horror of the psychology of humanity. Yeah.
I want to be one of the greats. And because I'm doing that, it's going to take up more of my time. And this is why I don't think that we should be together.
Oh, what a bollock. What an absolute bollock. They've just thrown me an absolute bollock. The only thing this film had going for it, apart from some quite nice music, was the passion. Was the passion of the tutor. Oh, and now it turns out he sent someone mad and suicidal in the past. Grrr. You fuckers. Oh, you fuck off. If this doesn't turn round and actually have some... it's just collapsed like a fucking blow-up doll. I'm not going to carry on that sentence. Insert your own collapse like a blow-up doll that there. Fuck, just no. Oh, you can't do that. He's actually dangerous to students. Fuck. Why did I trust them? Why did I trust Hollywood? I like to cut these cunts some slack occasionally because I'm alright to just be entertained. Fuckers got me again. I should know by now.
I would never let him put my son through hell. Why would you let him get away with what he did to you?
There are no two words in the English language more harmful than good job.
This is how sneaky, this is how snide these cunting films are. And just, you know, you know, he was the best thing about it. The tutor was the best thing about it. Now he's the villain. He's the villain because he wanted people to do their best. He wanted people to break the confines of their own limits. Oh, he's the devil in this piece. Oh no. That's what the message is. Don't try. Don't try and be better than who you are. Don't try and break boundaries. Don't put in some effort. Don't feel pain. Nah, just be average. You'll be all right. Shocking. And they kind of lure you in. They lure you in. I am disgusted. I can't believe I fell for it. I think I wanted, you know, I thought this would be a good movie about a bloke who wants to be a drummer and he's got a tutor, a stroke mentor who pushes him, and it's just a message of mediocrity. Just a message of middle of the road nonsense. Not even making any sense anymore. No, he found out it was him who grasped on him. He's the devil. He doesn't want him. He loves music. He doesn't love music. He fucked him up. But now he does love music. But the student is fucking him over. He wants to kill him. But he's going with it. And he's putting on the performance of his life. And good music. Good music. It's just a muddle. Just this. This is more of this hypnotism now. This is just once they got their message out, once they got their message of don't work hard, don't fight yourself, don't try and break your own limitations or other people's limitations, don't suffer for art. Once they got that message out, it's just been like hypnotic. Now it's just nice music and some nice shots. Shocking. And I'm embarrassed. I fell for it. I'm embarrassed. Not that much. No. No. Oh, hang on a minute. Hang on. Everything's all right. His dad has realised that his son's a percussion genius. The devil is now his mate because jazz has saved everything. I like a bit of jazz, but I didn't know it had these properties. Everyone's mates. Everything's alright. You know, he lost him his job. He said he'd kill him. Nah, jazz has saved everyone. It's all alright. It's fucking great. We only need the bird to come back now. And, well, not the bird as in Charlie Parker, but the love interest that sort of went somewhere along the line. The fuck am I watching? Fucking awful. Just well, I know how we tie it all up. I know how we tie up these major life themes. You know, fears of failure, fears of success, potential student abuse, death threats, and father-son dysfunctional relationships. Jazz. Fuck you.
Sweet, sweet.